All right, so it's another defeat in the Premier League. I'm sure you are not surprised, are you? We are not so surprised because definitely that's been the fate. But if you looked at the trajectory of things or the way things will have been going, especially for Ruben Amorim when he came, we were confident that we were beating teams below us, and then we were struggling against teams above us. Well. It looked as if aside the relegation threatened teams that we were able to take some points off. Those who were just some 2 or 3 steps below us, we couldn't win. We allowed Wolves to beat us, to leapfrog over us. We've allowed West Ham to also beat us, to leapfrog over us. Now,
at home,
all at home. The only team that is below us, that even if they score us, they won't leapfrog over us, will be winning the trophy over us, is Tottenham Hotspurs. They are just below us, but they are not.
Well, even them, we've lost against them twice this season.
Twice already.
Three times, sorry.
Three times already. Well, we are here to discuss everything. There's been a lot of talk, in the build-up to the final, which will be happening next week. Yes, the build-up to the final, which will be happening next week. What do we have to say about it? What is Coach Ruben Amorim saying? What is the latest injury update? How does it affect our preparation? Everything here on United and Everything Football. My name is Kwame. I'm here with Kwame Ntribu-Esiako. Thanks very much for always being a part of the podcast with us. Remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You know how we do it. Just for those who are joining us for the first time and those who have been watching and have not subscribed yet, pause the video, hit the subscribe button, and not just that, hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, just comment hi to us in the comment section, and we'll warmly welcome you to our community. It's always a pleasure to have all of you join us here on United and Everything Football. Let me make a quick turn. When I come back, I'll bring Kwame in, and then we get straight into action. We'll be right back after this. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. So the game happened. We lost by 2-0. I have a very interesting table to show you. Now, this is what we refer to as the alternate PL table or Premier League table, with results versus relegated teams, or the teams that are relegated removed. Now, if you take it out and you take out the games that Erik ten Hag had played out, this is the position of Manchester United. We would have been 17th with just 23 points. And in that same period, teams like West Ham, teams like Wolves, even Spurs, Everton are all above us. Kwame, it presents a very interesting situation and sort of paints a picture of everything that has happened under Ruben Amorim. What do we make of this?
It's been terrible. Let's be honest, it's been terrible. I keep repeating this stats, and it's actually a real stats.
Yeah.
That statistically, he is the worst manager since 1914. That's the beginning of the World War. Like, that's terrible. There may be factors that may be contributing to this, but at the end of the day, those stats are attached to your name and are attached to your tenure. He's not done well. See, everything that we come and say here, the funny thing is, the coach himself says the same thing.
Correct.
But when certain factions or certain fans say it, it's almost like as if people think we are against the manager. When he himself has admitted he's failing at his job, he's even gone on to say other things, which I'm sure we'll get into later on the pod, concerning his future and everything. Yeah. But he knows he's not done well. And it's okay to say he's not done well. And he has to do better. Whatever we're experiencing this season cannot continue. See, even the table that you're showing right now, he couldn't even amass maximum points from the relegation teams. In his first game, he dropped points against Ipswich, right?
Yes.
So we got 16 out of 18 points from those 3 relegation teams, thanks to him. But for points against the relegation teams this season, Manchester United should be relegated. This is how bad it's been. We've never, even at the time we got relegated in the 70s, it wasn't this bad. So it tells you that things have not gone well at all. I don't think he himself thought it would get this bad when he said a storm is coming. But this storm, everyone said, Abronoso. It's gone beyond him. It's taking him by storm. The storm has taken him by storm. But hopefully we end the season on a slightly better note and then start next season better. No matter what happens during the summer, this performances this season cannot continue.
Before I get to the poll that we sought to, establish something from on our X handle, what do you make of the argument that people make that from the way Amorim speaks, he's trying to paint the real picture of the state of affairs? Because a lot of people have had issues with his communication where they feel he sounds a lot more defeatist in the way he presents his case around Man United, making it look as if one of the worst sides, and although he's responsible, he's not turning things around. I remember seeing Jimmy Jackson of The Guardian saying, "That's your bloody job, do it."
Exactly. I mean, if you can say this is the worst team ever, then it's also okay for us to refer to you as the worst manager ever, because you're coaching literally the worst team ever. You're not performing.
Yeah.
That's why I always say to you that you cannot ever look at it one way. It's both ways.
Yeah.
But his communication is in stark contrast to the previous managers. You know, at a point in time, we used to say Eric Ten Hag is delusional for sounding overly positive when clearly results don't suggest anything is being positive. Now we've gone the complete opposite way. Of course, if one person was doing something and then it didn't go well, I'm not coming to repeat the same thing that the person is going to do. So I feel that is what he's doing. He is openly charismatic, openly frank, but sometimes we know how professional environments work. It is not everything that you have to say. And even certain things, when you say it, there's a way you have to say it. There are numerous occasions where he has come back in another press conference to sort of clarify what he said, because I'm sure he listens to himself back and goes like, I should not have said things the way that I said. But how long can it continue, especially when results are not going well? At a point in time, you lose the goodwill of fans and non-supporters. I think that is what is happening. Where now fans are starting to feel a bit like, are you really him? Are you really that guy? Yeah, let me say. Kwame, let me ask you something. Let me. Today I'm putting you on the spot. I'm giving you a preamble.
Yeah.
You cook, don't you? You cook food.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. When you are preparing soup, do you taste the soup in the middle to make sure that things are going well? Or you wait, combine everything you want to combine, and then at the end of the time, at the end of cooking the soup, you expect that the soup will taste good?
You can taste in the middle to see how it is going, how well the food is
exactly
going. Yeah.
I bet you that the only time that you are comfortable waiting to taste the food at the end is when you are very confident in your methods and that you have all your ingredients. Everything is going to just turn out fine because I've done this multiple times and the outcome is always positive. But if you are not sure, what you do is you always taste the food along the way. You put a bet on the ladder and then taste it.
Is it okay?
Yeah. What I'm driving at is, since he came in, this is Ineos' full project because this is their manager and this is their everything. We are sampling the food in the middle and it doesn't taste right. But there are fans, or there are a group of people who believe that it is about the end game and that whatever that we are seeing is just a sum of the parts. Sometimes you have to tear things down to be able to get to where you want to get to. So ultimately, the end will look good. It is one way to look at it, because now when you sample the food, it doesn't taste right. You probably need more ingredients to get the food to where it's gotten to. So you are trying to project and tell us that forget about everything that is going on now. Things are not going on right now, but believe you me, in our typical Ghanaian English, believe you me, the food is going to taste very good at the end of the day. My problem with this is one question. Is Amorim's time at Sporting enough sample size for you to go like, this is a tried and tested sort of soup that ultimately ends up in success anyway. It's Ineos's period in managing football clubs, especially football clubs. I'm not talking about other sports franchises like cycling and everything. You've seen Nice, you've seen Lausanne, all that. Is it enough experience for you to say, oh, you know what? Ultimately, it always ends up well. So if we give it all the time and then we keep on adding ingredients here and there, things are going to turn out right. I bet you the answer would be you're not really sure. You are not really sure. So very often than not, we want to be able to taste the food in the middle and feel confident about the fact that the way this food is going, the way this soup is starting to taste, with a few ingredients here and there, ultimately the soup is going to turn out fine. There are fans who argue the ingredients could be that these players that we have are not good enough and we have to add good players. But sometimes, some way, somehow, when a master chef walks into a room full of apprentices and he's tasting their food, he knows they are not as experienced as he is. But you say you can stay in the kitchen, you are not good enough to stay in my kitchen based on how you have been able to prepare your food to a certain point so far. What I'm trying to say is, from Amorim's beginning to this very moment, he hasn't prepared the food well. So if as fans taste it, it doesn't taste right, and you would call to question his methods, you would call to question whether he is the right man for the job or not. You're not going to say it's because you don't have these peppers, these this, and these this, and these this. That is why the food at this particular point in time doesn't taste as it should. Ruben Amorim, I think if he had a very long leash 6 months ago, the leash is not as long. If he doesn't end the season well, the leash even gets shorter. He can't afford to start next season badly. It's impossible. You've worked in certain entities, right? So many big entities. When you tear things down, there is no guarantee that you are always going to build things back up. I'm not just referring to the coach now because there's so many factors that come into play when you're trying to build a football club and a football culture. It's not just Ruben Amorim. I'm going all in on everybody. There is no guarantee that Ineos tearing everything down would mean that this club is going to go all the way back up. And I say this because I watched an episode on Stretford Paddock where Lord Whitwell came to sit down to break down Manchester United's current structure. And he started with the top hierarchy. There have been so many changes, Kwame, in a very short space of time. The only person left is Roach, the woman.
Yeah, College Roach.
Our
Chief Operations Officer.
I think even her role has now been changed. Now she's in charge of the stadium project. She's the only one. Everybody else has been changed in a space of 12 to 18 months. And that is a rapid turnover in any business entity. You know, decisions have to be made sometimes on the spot, but there could be a gap in communication, a gap in decision making, which may even affect the manager's job. Transfers. Who was in charge of transfers in January? You're not really sure. What data was being used? Because we brought in a data guy after the transfer window had ended. Was it just based on one person's intuition? Was it based on the guy from Leipzig, Chelsea? What's his name? Vivel. Or was it more of Jason Wilcox? You can't really tell right now. So until things are settled and sorted down, from the very top to the very bottom, if even the bottom, you've seen all these people being laid off. Do you know how many people workers have been laid off from Manchester United? We started off last year with 1,400 plus. The first tranche of people that left in mid-year last season was 250. December, another 250. Now another 200. You're talking about 700 people. You've slashed the staff by half. Say whatever you want about the roles or non-functioning roles these people were playing, but everybody was playing some bit part role. But now you've sort of reduced all that. And definitely decisions that certain people were supposed to be taking have not been taken. And that may have culminated in what we are seeing now. The working environment, the last point I want to end with, may not have been conducive for anybody to be successful. And this even dates all the way back to Erik ten Hag's last year with the takeover issues and all that. And now Amorim himself is going through, coming to work with people losing their jobs every day. You meet this person, one day the person's not there. Carrington is in shambles, being renovated. I just think it's just a lot of things.
Yeah.
Speaking for the manager in this regard. So hopefully all this comes to some sort of conclusion at the end of this season. Everybody has a clean state. Everybody knows what you're supposed to do, gets their jobs done, and then we kick on from there next season.
Well, that's a very good one. I mean, just a few thoughts from me. It's fair to independently and open-mindedly assess the tenure of a coach without any how do you call it, unnecessary extraneous variables. The coach has been here for 6 months. 6 months. He has, out of about 20 something Premier League games that he's played, he has won just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Premier League games. And if you go into the details of the games that he's won, the major big fish there was the game against Manchester City. Nothing beyond that. The only team that we've beat, Everton. We beat Leicester. We've beat Ipswich.
Southampton, luckily.
Southampton. And then who else? So I've mentioned 5 teams. And then another team, I'm not too sure. These are the only games that we've won. And these are the teams that have not been in best of shapes. It means majority of the time we either lose
6 wins, 6 draws, 13 losses in the league.
13 losses. 13 losses.
Out of 2 cup competitions.
Don't
to
let
Spurs and to Fulham at home in the FA Cup.
In the penalties. Don't let I'm being careful. Don't let anyone gaslight you that these players that we have are a bunch of racks. They are not perhaps good enough to compete. They are not perhaps good enough to maybe make top 4, but they are not bad enough to be 16th.
They're not the 17th, 16th worst team in the league.
You can't gaslight me on that. I won't accept that. So if the coach himself accepts some sort of blame for his own coaching and his own methods leading us to this point, I mean, allow people to independently judge the coach's tenure. It's so easy to have a go at the players. I know, I understand. We have a go at them. I believe with
We all do it.
I believe with all my heart that we have a quality deficit, but the coaching hasn't improved. The coaching hasn't been better. We've done very well enough to get to the Europa League final. And that's, if you check our history over the last couple of years, we've been a cup team and that's what we've been. Nothing else but that. But the league is one of the key measures of progress of any team. We have moved from 8th position last year, changed the coach, and we've dropped very, very down. So the coach...
do you know we're only 4 points from 3rd spot when he took over? 4 points from 3rd.
That is what people sometimes forget. And I'm projecting that as well. We were just 4 points off top 4. And that was the point I was driving at. 4 points off top 4. But the coach came in, we are going to change methods, change approach, and all of that. The players, he used a particular word a lot. We are going to suffer. And there was a storm coming and all of that. You see, I believe those are all communication tactics to sort of water down expectation and all of that. But players do hear all of these things. Okay.
Good point.
Players do hear that. When they hear them, I mean, if we keep, I'm not saying there are 2 extremes. Being overly positive and sometimes being overly cautious. But you need to find a middle ground. Remind us of the reality, but don't make us believe we are so bad that there is nothing that can be done about it. So these are...
because of that, every time the question is always posed now, not just to him, but even to the players at press conferences. What do you make of Amorim saying you are the worst team in the world? I mean, if you tell your workers that they are shit, they are not going to be good at their jobs. They're not.
Yeah. It's as
They are
simple,
not going to be good at their
as
jobs.
simple as that. It's as simple as
Just as
it's as
simple as
simple as
that.
that. So that's my general thought on that. You are right when you say Amorim needs time. I won't argue with you on that. That's your opinion. That's fine. But when someone says Amorim has been bad, please understand. He's been very bad in the league. Extremely bad. Like so bad in the league. And it needs to be told. But only him. He believes that he has a plan as to how to get us out of this. He has confidently said that, not on one occasion, but on several occasions. And we are all looking forward to that. But in the build-up of the final and other things, but we put out a poll. We wanted to know what a lot of you think ahead of the game. We said you should rate Amorim's tenure in the last 6 months as coach of Manchester United. Well, a lot of you rated him 4/10. Kwame, I saw in the comment section people asking, is there any further reduction of the
It's
rating?
been so poor. Someone saying one. You should have added 1 or 2 over 10.
1 or 2, and I agreed with them. Could anything have been done? Well, because those of you who are rating 7/10, okay, maybe you are adding the Europa League, which is fair. That's fine. I wouldn't begrudge
There are people who look at things
differently.
in
I
that
mean,
way.
that's the beauty of human thought. I mean, dimension.
For instance, Kofi Abuaje,
Yes.
this is how he looks at things.
Yes.
The moment, God forbid this, God absolutely forbid that we lose the Europa League final. Kofi Abuaje would move straight from a 7/10 to a 2/10
To
in
zero.
quick time.
You will go to
To
zero,
probably zero.
not even 2. So that's it. And
So
that's the beauty of perspectives. One thing I always tell people, let's respect perspectives. If you say 7/10 and it's because of the Europa League, because you are in the final, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's fine, right? But
kinda
other people are looking at it holistically and
holistic.
no, this shouldn't have been the case. And that we could have done a lot more better on the league, especially looking at the fact that we're 7 points. We further asked, how much more time do you think Amorim deserves to turn things around? 23% of you said win the Europa League, win Europa, else get sacked. 16% of you say 5 games into next season. 22% of you say till December at least. And then 39% of you, which is the highest, feel that he should be given the whole of next season. Fair enough. So that's what a lot of you are thinking. So it's
At United, we give our managers time.
we give our managers
We
time,
actually give our managers a lot of time
a lot
compared to
of time.
other big clubs,
Exactly.
except Arsenal. Except Arsenal.
a lot of time. So that's basically it, and it's an interesting one. But Kwame, let's build up to the Europa League final. Yesterday, a lot of talk from the players, and there was an open training session. As it stands, we are not too sure of the state of Joro and the Ligt and Dalo. We are told they were having individual training sessions ahead of it, and they had some interviews. Some of the players are so upbeat. Dalo, for instance, says we deserve it, we have to win it. It's non-negotiable. They have to do everything that they can. Mazraoui also says something like that. But the coach, on the other hand, is saying things like, yeah, we can win, but if we don't win, I mean, it's so contradicting.
He is laying in contingencies when there is no need for him
Should he
to.
not
I mean,
win?
you can, if the results go south, you can come out and then talk about what next.
Yes.
But in the lead up to it, we just be positive.
Yeah.
Be just like the players. The players are being positive. Just go all out. I don't have as much confidence going into this final as I would have had probably under Ten Hag, Jose Mourinho, or any other winner. Amorim himself is supposed to be a winner, but he's not sounding like it. Previous managers would have been like overly positive going into this final, extremely upbeat, but he's sounding a bit more cautious. You know what I think? I think his tenure has done something to him. He's not experienced failure in his life before, so far as a manager. He said it. That in his short career as a manager, all he has always known is to win. So this is even showing him something he didn't even know about himself. It's done something to him. It's sort of, sometimes you walk into a room and then you feel like you're always the bigger man because you have always had things going your way. But when things start to go against you,
You need to
you
doubt
feel a bit
yourself.
smaller. you feel a bit smaller. He's felt a bit smaller in the past few weeks. But it doesn't mean that he is not looking forward to actually playing this final and winning it. He's just having a bit of self-doubt. He's showing his very human side. But in this professional setting, this is Manchester United. That's why I keep saying that Sporting and Manchester United, it's a completely different
apart.
Different ballpark altogether. And he's learning it. This 6 months, what you want it to do is to strengthen him going into next season. Right? Now brace yourself. You've had a lot of grace because of certain situations. I say it on Twitter, and some people want to interpret it the way that they want. He is the luckiest manager at Man United or any big club ever to have a pass after what we have experienced this season and be guaranteed a job next season. He has to make the absolute most of it. Demand for what you need in the market. Demand for a quick start next season. But even before then, let's not deviate. Back to the final. We have to prepare for the final. How are we going to prepare for the final? Me, Kwame, I'll say it and I'll say it again, that this team is not a team you lay them in the couch and expect them to get up and just turn up. It won't happen. Do you know why? Because even the best managers we've had over the past decade, leading up to finals, they didn't rest their players. Because they knew those teams, those players were not that good enough to just be given some time off. If the team was performing, we're in a very good league position, right? We're doing well in other competitions. The confidence was there. You can say, rest half your squad leading up to a final. Erik ten Hag didn't do it a couple of games last season, leading up to the FA Cup final. I think we played Newcastle at home and then we played Brighton away. A place we had never won in God knows how long. He fielded strong enough teams to win those games leading up to it because you have to build some sort of momentum going into it. And I know that was the thinking of Ruben Amorim when he started that strong team this weekend against West Ham. It was in good faith. Many people were, you see, in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing when somebody gets injured and you're now pointing fingers, blah, blah, blah. But you need to have a plan, a theory, a reasoning behind your thinking. And he was right to have selected as strong a team as possible because he wants results leading up to the final. A win against West Ham would have done us a world of good. A positive result against Chelsea would have even done us better. So what I'm saying is, don't go into that game fielding a very weak team against Chelsea and getting 10 over. There are only 3 players I would consider him resting. Only 3, not more. The senior players who have dragged us in the Europa League up until this very point. Harry Maguire, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes. Everybody else should be available to play. Everybody else. Get yourself properly warmed up for the final. The game can be managed. Probably after 60 minutes, you can bring on certain other players and take off players who may be on an amber zone, because I don't think anybody's on a red zone now. It's been managed in such a way that not everybody should. Even those on red, give them some minutes, get them off the pitch. But don't do an overhaul, get rolled over 4-0, 5-0 by Chelsea, and expect that, we are just going to turn up for one game. No, we need a performance at Stamford Bridge. Even if it's a defeat, it should be a performance. Take that, some form of momentum. Maybe Højlund gets a goal, something like that. Take what you can from the game and then take it into the cup final. That is how I'll approach it. That's how I'll expect him to approach it as well.
Well, that's definitely, that definitely should be the case. I mean, in my opinion as well. You don't have to go into that game. I mean, see, football is an extreme mental sport. A sport that works on the psyche of individuals. It builds something in you, in your mind. Okay, so if you are going into games where en route to a particular final, you are not, I mean, getting the best out of your players and all of that, it does something to the mind. Ahead of the Bilbao game, we fought very hard to get a draw against Bournemouth. We kept pushing them and working so hard and all of that to be able to do that. Give some players some time. Look Shaw some 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatsoever. Let them build themselves up to be able to do that. Let Ahmad play. He has been away for some time. Let Ahmad play. Let Garnacho play. Let all of these players get the feel of the game and all of that so that they can come in. Except for the injured players who are trying to recover. I think these key players should also have a bite of the
And
game.
on the injured players, I don't think Euro's injury is that bad. Honestly, I don't.
I think it was a precaution.
Precautionary. The range of motions of exercises he was doing in the gym and everything, being able to put weight on his foot and all, doesn't suggest that it's a very bad ankle sprain, probably a grade 1 ankle sprain or something. As for Delit and Dallo, I think they'll be good enough to probably make the bench. I don't think they'll be good enough to start the game on the day, but you need that strength off the bench sometimes because of the system that we play. It needs defenders. So at the point in time, you want to bring in defenders.
A lot of
exactly.
Them. Yeah.
So I think next week we will be looking good. But going into Chelsea, like you've also rightly said, I think we should go in with as strong a lineup as possible, except for just 1 or 2 or 3 key players. Everybody else should get a feel of the game. Hopefully, get a positive result going into the final.
Well, we'll see how that pans out. So after today, we have maybe 2 more episodes before the final. We'll try and build it up. We want to build it up properly. With a lot of, so we'll talk about the Chelsea game, a game after Chelsea, and then we'll try and have another one before the final. Hopefully, a week today we'll be in a happy zone.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Because see, if we lose, I don't know how I'll be able to deal with this. I'll be so distraught. And I think the coach himself knows. He says if he loses, he expects the situation to get toxic. Yes. He expects fans to lose patience. You see, the coach is saying it. When we come and sit here, we say it. Don't come in the comment section and be upset. The person that you're even defending or you are going over the hill for, even admits it. Just come back to reality. The reality is things are not well. Things need to improve, and hopefully things do improve.
Hopefully things do improve. Thank you very much, Kwame. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast once again. Always
welcome.
Enjoying doing this with you. My name is Kwame. Remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We play against Chelsea tomorrow. We hope that we get the best out of that game and see how best. Maybe we can put their top 4 hopes somewhere and then probably
jeopardize their top 4 hopes. Jeopardize.
Probably go and then find out. They believe we are so weak they would wallop us.
I will see about that.
We'll see about that tomorrow. We'll see you on the next one after the Chelsea game. Have a great time. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and like all the videos. Have a great time. Bye-bye.